Eline Lombard's farm is still taking shape.
Voilà.
But she savors every second she spends with her animals. She's been raising these Sarda sheep, a breed originally from Sardinia, for 4 months now. Every morning starts the same way, with milking time.
We're really just getting started. I milk 3 sheep a day, so I'm doing as little as possible to make it work so that I can test different cheeses and get settled on the rest of the farm. We've got lots of things to do, so milking isn't a priority this year.
From setting up the greenhouses, installing the irrigation system, looking after the animals and tending to the vegetables, Eline has a long to-do list. But she says the hardest tasks are behind her.
We love being here in the greenhouse or with the animals. The hardest part has been all the admin. It was all the steps of setting up a business, all the people you have to talk to, getting a loan from the bank, dealing with all the agricultural authorities. It was hard because you have to remember everything. You have to be tenacious, and it's not always fun.
This evening, after months of hard work, the farmers will finally be selling their very first products. Julien admits he's a little stressed, but is satisfied with the work they've accomplished so far.
It's all going to the locals, who we've introduced ourselves to. So it's a real pleasure.
It's another step on the long and bumpy road to setting up a farm. Currently in France, it's difficult to even find land to set up on, and even harder to buy it.
We're in a touristy area, and there are people with fairly high purchasing power who come to buy these farms as second homes. So that was our first problem, getting here before other potential buyers arrived.
Another major issue was securing the funds needed to buy the land. To purchase the 15 hectares they now cultivate, Eline and Julien would have had to take on 40 years of debt. That would have been without the help of Terre de Liens. The association has been with them right from the start.
Terre de Liens was very excited about this farm. We weren't as enthusiastic when we visited, but now we're very happy. And it's partly thanks to them that we're here. Well, it's actually all thanks to them, because they didn't let us make the investments on our own. They bought the land while we bought buildings, so that made a big difference and helped us a lot financially.
The competition isn't just for the real estate. It's the precious fields that have already been worked on by other farmers that are coveted by all, who see it as a way of increasing their income. Today, 2/3 of the farmland that changes hands is used for expansion, leaving even fewer land up for grabs and driving the prices up. For Terre de Liens, this land should not be subject to market restrictions.
This land will be on the market where potentially it will be sold to the highest bidder. And the highest bidder is not necessarily the person who wants to move in, but will be someone who's already well established, who's already recouped their investments, who want to expand rather than allowing a new person to enter the business. And that's our problem. It is a problem of land concentration and competition for uses where the largest farms will grow more and more, and people who want to create new businesses will have more and more difficulty in getting set up.
That's what almost happened to Bastien. He'd already been cultivating his grandmother's land for some 15 years when it was put up for sale. But the family couldn't agree on who was to inherit the farm, and the land was put up for auction.
My rich neighbors came to buy the land and they took it from under my nose, adding another 500 euros each time so I couldn't buy it back.
The neighbors in question were farmers who owned several hundred hectares, some of it just next to Bastien's land. In just a few minutes, the price of the farm rose from 40,000 to 130,000 euros, making it impossible for Bastien to keep up.
I was disgusted because in fact it's land that I farm, so it's not right to take the land from another farmer who's in business.
A long battle ensued. Thanks to help from Bastien's other neighbors and the work of SAFER, France's agricultural land watchdog, the 20 hectares were finally bought back by 200 co-owners. Friends and supporters of the Breton farmer banded together to create a small company. Bastien says it was a victory for the village and for future generations.
My heart is set on defending this model, which is a meaningful form of agriculture from an economic, environmental and social point of view, and that farmers are happy on their farms.
Another part of the fallout from giant farms developing in France is land grabbing by large agricultural corporations. They are at times the only ones able to raise the necessary funds, but can be more concerned with getting a return on their investment than creating an ethical business model. Today, 1 in 10 farms belong to one of these companies.
Unfortunately, this certain form of agriculture tends to expand, tends to control more and more land, and become the only model, the dominant model of farming. And that's tragic for employment, for the quality of life in the countryside, and for the environment.
Ted Delian says it's critical to help young farmers set up their businesses. Each year, around 7,000 throw in the towel due to a shortage of land. It's a job that is nevertheless essential for the future of France. Nearly 20% of land will change hands by 2030.